1, 2, test equals 1, 2, 3. Looks like I've PNG'd Alex's hair on today. Turn to the side. No, it's actually real hair.
Oh, it's all real.
I feel like I'm losing my hair. You know what? I've also realised that I'm actually becoming the thick boy.
Where's me hat?
Yesterday I realised that I was becoming the thick boy when I watched the video. I was like, holy shit, I'm the big one now.
There's only 2 kilos.
So
I've been losing a bit of weight.
I'm 130. Alex 132.
That's kilograms, not pounds.
Yeah.
There's 2 kilos in it for us now.
So it's not.
He's almost the thick boy.
I'm close, but I will not allow that to happen. No way in a million years. But today we're talking about another thing that is thick boy. That's a segue. There we go.
We're talking about Apex.
Apex Legends, Respawn, Titanfall 1, and a bit of Titanfall 2. We'll throw that in there too. All this and more. It's been a huge hack. It's been happening for several months now for Titanfall. Now it's also found its way into Apex Legends. All this and more after the drop. Nice. Okay, so where do we start? Oh, well, no.
Why don't we both talk at the same time?
I think we should talk at the same time.
And then the audience can decide who they want to listen to.
We'll put it on studio.
Yeah,
Alright, so Apex Legends, as we know, it's kind of the out of nowhere huge success. It came out, I think 2018 now, or at least 2019.
No, 2018.
Something like that.
Right.
Whatever, right? We report the wrong information, you decide. It's around that time, of course, it's been a huge success since then. Of course, it's tried to compete with other battle royales like Fortnite and, of course, with PUBG. So, yes, it's been around for some time now, of course, and it has continued to stay relevant. They've got a lot of content that they bring out. A lot of people are generally pretty happy with that. Even you recently have actually got into
play a bit of Apex now
Legends.
Again. I was playing sort of at the start of the year quite a bit. I've taken it off now. I'm back to playing Isaac. But no, Apex is a good game. And it is such a good game that sort of Respawn dedicate all of their attention to Apex.
So much so.
So much so that they may have been forgetting about
neglecting
Titanfall 1 for about 3 years. So, look, there's a really good video by Upper Echelon who actually sort of went into detail back in May about the sheer scale of this Titanfall 1 and now Titanfall 2 exploit that has rendered Titanfall 1 completely unplayable from a multiplayer perspective, and it's beginning to happen with Titanfall 2. So the Titanfall 1 issue has been happening for about 3 years. The game is basically completely unplayable. From what I understand, there's this dude, or maybe a couple of dudes, who are flooding the Titanfall 1 matchmaking systems with these bots that have these player names that are like thousands of characters long
and it breaks
that completely break matchmaking. So if you buy Titanfall 1, which is still available for sale on Steam and Origin, you can't play it multiplayer. You'll be just the matchmaking doesn't function. Titanfall 2 now has issues where it's got this like really sophisticated DDoS attack that, regardless of your IP address or account or sort of any markup that you kind of change and swap out, it doesn't matter. It still finds who you are and blacklist. Basically, it sends your ping to infinite, and then you're dropped from the game. Yep. The game's unplayable.
I mean, look, and this is, as you said, it has been happening now for the last few years. People are getting more and more infuriated. There's a lot of hardcore players that still want to play, Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2. It's gotten to a stage now that it's been pretty well documented that a lot of people have been reaching out time and time again to Respawn and EA, trying to get this fixed. And it seems like now the next level of them trying to get something done has started, and that's actually hacking Apex Legends, because it seems like all their time and effort, Respawn's time and effort, goes directly into Apex Legends, and they have, of course, left Titanfall 1 and 2 kind of left out to dry.
They still sell it.
And they still
it's
sell
still
it.
On sale sometimes.
And there's a lot of people that were expecting Titanfall 3 to come out, but of course, no. All that effort and time and coding went into Apex Legends. So a lot of people still want to be able to at least play the previous Titanfalls. They can't do it. So what they've been doing now is now hacking Apex Legends.
Yeah, so what they've done is so if you played Apex, like when you log in on the bottom left, there's the playlist selection menu. You can choose squads of 3, or you can play solo. You can do the new PvP, like 3v3 mode, and you choose your mode and you press start game. Now it's just got one playlist called SaveTitanfall.com.
I've got that on the screen now. You can see it.
Yeah, so you can't change to any other playlists. It basically just breaks the game. So you're stuck at you're stuck at the title screen, and it just says Save Titanfall. The game's unplayable. Now I believe Respawn have begun to address the issue. And
Sorry, I was going to say, on Twitter, all they've actually really said is, look, we've seen that there's some issues regarding Apex Legends matchmaking. They haven't, which is important, they haven't in the Twitter, the thread that I could find on the official Respawn Twitter account. They're not at all acknowledging Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, or this whole protest. They're purely just saying that they've been working on the matchmaking bugs that have been breaking Apex Legends.
Yeah, they really haven't said anything about Titanfall. Some of the more recent communication was like back in March or even earlier, where they said we are continuing to investigate, issues with Titanfall. But I think if you actually go and watch the video, that's about 16 minutes, but it really explains the problem with Titanfall.
I'll have it on the link in the description.
It seems like
if I don't forget.
It is such a sophisticated problem that it almost seems like to fix it would require a complete overhaul of the
rebuild,
matchmaking system. And I think maybe for an old game, they just CBF. They probably just can't be bothered.
But then they still sell it, bro.
That's the problem. That's the problem. If they can't be effed, then they should stop selling it.
Yeah,
but they're selling it. And,
But look,
and that is an issue. So
you got to remember, though, the moment they take it down from stores, it becomes a huge story again. I'm not condoning their actions, but I can see why maybe they're sitting there in limbo going, fuck, what do we do here? Because it's all a bit of a mess. And if we actually start delisting it from platforms, it really makes a huge statement to the current players and the current hardcore fans of Titanfall. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I think... Go on.
I was just going to say also, in terms of the Apex Legends problem, just quickly before we go back to that, it's not only on PC, it was apparently on Xbox, and now there's been more confirmed problems on PlayStation 4 also.
Yeah,
so it seems like it's everywhere now.
They've got the Respawn servers by the balls. And what's interesting here is that Respawn have not done anything to fix Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2. They've basically pretended like there were no issues. They now may be forced to confront the issue in the sense that their big, current, blockbuster, hugely popular Apex was now affected when the main reason was because of Titanfall. So I'm curious to see if they actually address it. But so far they've said nothing. They can't really continue to ignore it like they have been because it's been thrust into the center.
Yeah, I feel like if they were to fix this problem and allow people to continue to play again, there's a chance that, the headlines will move on and people might forget about this. But I don't think that these hackers are going to go quietly. It sounds like they'll find another way to hack. They'll find another way to demonstrate that they don't want this to go away. But I guess, we really wanted to bring you up to speed about what's been happening so you know what's going on here. Question I have for you is, do you think that hacking is an acceptable way to protest? Or is it only very specific situations like this one that, a hack is acceptable?
I mean...
That's a way of framing it, isn't it? Oh!
I wouldn't say it's, acceptable. But, I mean, there's always a level of, does the end justify the means? But I think... I saw a comment online, it was actually quite clever. They're like... The thing is, it's not actually... The logic here doesn't quite stand up. Because they're like, you're not spending the resources on fixing your old game. Let's break your new popular game, and you have to fix that first, and then you'll fix our old game. Yeah. I don't know. It kind of doesn't really make sense logically. But I wouldn't say I necessarily condone it. I guess people get desperate and do shitty things. A lot of people like playing Apex. The people who like playing Apex have had nothing to do with the shitstorm of Titanfall 1.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or Titanfall 2. So whilst I commend this efforts...
I commend the hacking.
And whilst I commend its effectiveness of getting word out there, I also have to sort of, I guess, condone the inconvenience that it puts to people who just want to play Apex, man. They got home from a shitty day at their shitty job.
They just want to chill.
They just want to play a free game.
I think I agree with you. I don't think I think each situation is going to be specific, and I think even this has been really extreme in how much Respawn and EA have not acknowledged the problems of Titanfall. I do not believe this is the answer. I don't believe hacking an entire game, destroying the experience for thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people over the next week or two if this continues, over something that they have nothing to do with, you know? I think that...
Yeah, the collateral is what I think that's shitty.
Because I've seen a few comments on Twitter like, oh no, this is what they needed to do. Like, well, no, I don't agree with that, you know? There's a few things on Twitter also, like people asking for heirlooms.
Yeah.
A certain resource, I think, in Apex. I haven't
Can we
played
have
it
some
in years.
heirloom shards? I need compensation for the fact that my free game stopped working.
The free game's not working. Can you please give me the heirloom shard? And people are like, mate, get a grip. It's a free game. Like, I think it's now... It's broken out into a meme, but look, I mean, to answer that question personally, I don't believe that hacking and destroying the experience of, like, again, hundreds of thousands of people, if this was to continue for the next week or two, I don't believe that's really fair.
They should have just hacked their Twitter. And
maybe just hack their Twitter.
I am a poo-poo head.
Maybe that's it.
Everyone would have listened.
You know, and I would have thought that was an official tweet from Respawn. I mean, if they're going to say that they are a poo-poo head, then I know
I'll be none the wiser.
That is Respawn.
They've got the verification check after all.
That is definitely it. So look, guys, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. We'll try and continue to watch the story as it emerges. But
I do hope that Titanfall gets fixed, because, like, you should go watch this. It's actually pretty wacky. They've basically just destroyed the franchise.
Or either one
Titanfall
person
1 entirely, and Titanfall 2, it's on its way. So I do hope that it gets fixed. But then also, is it getting fixed resultant of a hack on Apex?
It's a dangerous precedent to set.
Is that behavior then being rewarded? Does it then say, hey, maybe this is a way we can get shit done in the future?
Yeah.
And I fear for that. So part of me is also like, I hope they don't fix it so they don't reward this tact.
Yeah.
But then I also want Titanfall 1 and 2 to work, because people are sad about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want people to be sad.
I don't want people to be sad, okay, on the Laymen. So, guys, that is it for today. We will continue to update you on the story, and we will see you guys next time. Laymen out. Can he dab? Wait a second. That's the worst.
That's fine. He dabbed.
He dabbed hard.